The truth is, Elridge and I don't always see eye to eye on how to handle these particular adverse situations when we have it. But I think the dynamic between our relationship is that, or with our relationship is that we will talk about an issue until that person makes more sense than the other one.
Welcome to Real Estate Talk from a private lender perspective, where our total goal is to add value in the real estate and finance space. And today we're going to talk about what happens during a default situation or if a borrower is late.
That's a great topic. So far at Vertical Capital, we have zero default. And I think the reason why we don't have zero defaults is because the underwriting process is super tight in the beginning, right? Number one, we look at the quality of the borrower. I can't say that enough. The operator, who is operating our loans on the back end? Who's that fix and flip person? Who's that buy and hold person? We pay attention to that. But in the event, we have had people to be late on paying us off. And I guess one of the number one reasons why we choose not to proceed with foreclosures on people is, one, it's expensive, and it tends to drag out the process, right, of you getting your principal and your interest back. But most importantly, we look at the relationship of that particular borrower, right? Is this person a repeat borrower, right? Has that person added value to us, and how have we added value to them?
And what you saying that it make me think about one of our borrowers. This guy is a well-known developer guy in the New Orleans area, and we wanted to establish a relationship with this guy, and we gave him a 30-day extension with no penalties, because we look at one person not as just a transaction. We look at them as someone that we could do business with in the future and for long-term business. So that's very, very important for us, is to build a relationship.
The truth being told, guys, every situation, every borrower, every loan is totally different. And we tend to talk about how to resolve those issues as they occur, right? And look, the truth is, Elridge and I don't always see eye to eye on how to handle these particular adverse situations when we have it. But I think the dynamic between our relationship is that, or with our relationship is that, we will talk about an issue until that person makes more sense than the other one, and that's typically the solution.
Right.
We're gonna go with. Like, for example, we had the well-known fix and flipper just called us on Tuesday. Again, like he said, we extended their loan. They were supposed to pay us back, guys, on June 22nd. Today is July 28th, and they haven't paid us back, right? But we got the call on Tuesday stating that they needed 3 more additional months. And you got to understand, the agreement or the promissory is for 6 months. 6 months was June 22nd. And so now this particular borrower, is their obligation to pay us back both our principal and interest back. And so the borrower called, and that's the key too. Is the borrower ducking us? In this case, I don't think he is. And that's key. So that's going to be a key on how we approach the situation, as far as whether it's a foreclosure or not, or whatever the solution is that we're going to give, right? If your borrower is incognito,
start the process.
You don't hear from them or whatnot. They're not active or proactive in communicating with you as to what is causing the delays and why it's causing those delays. I don't think there's much conversation to be had on a solution other than a follow through with your documents to proceed for foreclosure. But in this instance, what we came up with, what we were talking about, we were going back and forth about.
Yeah, in this particular situation, and how we solve our issues, right? There's a good book called Traction. And in this book, they have the IDS, identify, discuss, solve. And me and Anitra do a great job of identifying the issue and getting to the solution. You know, we don't go back and forth on just the issue. Like, what's the solution? We ask ourselves, how can we solve this? Like, what can we do to solve this? And make our minds start to think of solutions. So, but going back to this particular situation, the solution we came up with is to pretty much refinance them out. So at Vertical Capital, we have a flat fee loan and we have a monthly payment loan. The first loan was the 6-month flat fee where they paid us on the back end when the deal matures, right?
So that means they don't make any monthly payments throughout the term of the loan. We don't go any longer than 6 months on a no payment option.
That's a great point. So we decided to refinance them out for the time they needed, and that was the 3 months for the monthly payment loan. So, but they had to bring to the closing our interest that's owed for the first loan, and the points and fees that's associated with the new loan. So it's a good deal for them because they're not being penalized and they're getting an additional time how to pay us back and move forward with their project. And it's a good deal for us because essentially we're making money with the same dollar.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. So like, look. We're in a money game, guys. You guys.
What's up, Parker? What's up? Parker is in the money game with us.
What's happening, Daddy?
Yeah.
Y'all, look, I'm going to introduce my son to y'all. His name is Parker Preston. Parker, say what's up to the people. Wave. Right. Wave to the people, man. Look at you. But anyway, we're in a money game, guys. We're not trying to foreclose on people, right? So in this instance, you know, like Elridge said, it's a good deal for us. Same dollar that we loaned to them 6 months ago, we're getting paid off now. And we're going to extend that same dollar back to them for an additional 3 months for a new interest, new points on the closing. And so essentially what happens is our investors, our capital partners, get to remain in the deal for an additional 3 months while they've already gotten paid back their interest. And in the next 3 months, they're going to get paid. They're going to get paid monthly payments. And they get their principal, back.
Yep. To add to that, in Vertical Capital, we track a number called dead presidents. And dead presidents is the number of the money is not being used. And in this particular situation, that loan do not have dead presidents days associated with it because it's refinanced and the new loan start immediately.
Exactly.
And this is some of the reasons why we able to get our investors a 11 to 13% return on investment, because we track the amount of dead days their money is just sitting in a retirement account or in their bank account, right?
Now you're getting off into some finance here.
Yeah.
Right?
The
compounding effect of the dollar and the velocity of the dollar. So just think about this particular transaction. This $1 was due in June. So from January to June, that dollar was out making interest. Now that same dollar is going to close out and start a new loan. Now we're in July for the next 3 months. So now we were able to use that same dollar twice. Twice.
Yep.
In 1 calendar year.
On the same property.
On the same property with the same borrower. So now our investors are getting what? On the first dollar, they're getting 7%.
Yep.
On the second dollar, they're going to get 10%.
Monthly. Interest only monthly. So let's just recap this. Like, we identify, discuss, and solve a problem, an issue, and everybody won.
Everybody wins.
The borrower won because he wasn't penalized.
Right.
We won because we able to use the same dollar, and our capital investors won because they was able to gain additional interest.
And the key here, guys, it's a win-win-win situation. But most importantly, inside those wins, it's a relationship situation. Right?
Yep.
The trust and integrity with the actual borrower, and we also kept in trust and integrity with our capital partners. And again, that goes back to a couple of videos that we said before. Transparency, just doing straight good business, is the key I think to private lending as a whole, but also just doing anything you're doing, right? You always want to be transparent, upfront, and honest on both ends of the spectrum here.
And to add to that, I can't home in enough on experience. At Vertical Capital, we are borrowers. We were borrowers first. So we know what we like and what we do not like. You know, in going through many different loans for the deals we've done in the past, some lenders would double their interest. Some lenders would foreclose. You know, many lenders would do things to not keep the relationship. And we're trying to keep the relationship.
Exactly. And all those experiences that we've had with some of your larger lenders, your institutional lenders, even your traditional lenders, like they got a couple of banks out here, y'all, I wouldn't touch with a stick. And they have a couple of hard money lenders. Like, and when I talk about the hard money lenders, I'm talking about the larger guys. You know, like I said before, some of those institutional backed funders, right? There were just certain things in the processes that we generally disliked, and more than likely we're not going to go back to them. You know, word of mouth travels very, very quickly. We have other people that we know who have other relationships with other bankers, community banks, that have had bad experiences. You think we going to them?
No.
I'm not interested in going to them.
Yeah.
Again, we are a company, or we desire the relationship is more valuable to us than just treating a borrower like a transaction.
So guys, if you got value, please like, subscribe, and comment.
And if you are an investor yourself or a private lender or whatever, add your comments too. We'd like to see how you resolve situations in the event that you're headed towards a default or in a default.
Thank you guys.